in with what a convention, or festival in this case, is going to be about. And what do you know? There just happen to be so many video game comics out there. There's a Team Fortress 2 webcomic, the old Valiant comics for Mario or Link, or hell, the entire catalog of Sonic comics. But which should I choose from? Well, how about none of them? Because I like screwing with expectations. Oh, but rest assured, our comic today does indeed have to do with video games. It also has to do with a beloved 80s franchise that continues today. Say hello to Transformers number 24. Generation 1 Transformers, well, most of them pretty much follow a similar pattern anyway. Two factions of robots, they change into stuff, shoot each other, hijinks ensue. And today's Transformers comic is all about the wonders of video games. And that's something we can see from this cover, which is some guy playing a video game that features Megatron shooting Optimus Prime, the text even saying, "Game over, Optimus Prime." Check out the graphics featured in 1987. If they can do this with 8 bits, just imagine what that new Sega console can do.
Also, he's playing with himself.
Well, there you go. I'm going to continue the script anyway. Controlling both of them. It's really sad when not even the computer will play against you in a fighting game. We open with a bunch of robots shooting another robot. You'd think that would be the standard opening of every Transformers comic, but these feature robots attached to what is probably the most impractical scaffolding ever. Some of these robots don't even have legs. What do they do when they're not shooting at any robots? I can't imagine them getting up for a cup of coffee. You have been hunted down by and destroyed by the hordes of Hazak, hero. Have a nice day. The early models of the amateur science sentry turrets. We come back to see, of course, that this was a video game being played by some blonde guy named Ethan and is watched by a woman named Margaret. Lost again? Yeah, I had created such a good character too, Margaret. Formulac the Compuzoid. Formulac the Compuzoid. It's not a movie, and yet I want that movie. I'll never understand why you waste so much time here playing these meaningless computer games, Ethan Zachary. And I'll never understand why you felt the need to say his full name. Well, for one thing, you can't find any video game arcades that offer this. The Spectrum-X 1000, the best computer video screen in the world. Yeah, but you're only playing it in 640 by 480, dude. So it's not that much of a better quality. And sure, the Spectrum-X 1000 seems like the best console, but wait until they get the CD add-on for it. So anyway, she takes over for him at the computer instead of firing him for wasting company time by using their huge-ass system for playing games. It seems I'm not the only person who thinks about that, though, so as Margaret states, you know, Ethan, Energy Futures Industries didn't build this place so you could play games all day. You were hired for data entry, and data entry is what you shall do. Anyway, they're actually working at a plant with a hydrothermocline, a theoretical device that's apparently based on real-world science of drawing energy from thermal layers in the ocean. I just like to cool out after a long day by losing myself in some fantasy role-playing, that's all. Yes, fantasy role-playing, which is why you were playing as a robot against other robots. I must have missed that World of Warcraft expansion and Mists of the Robot Apocalypse. But let's get back to what we care about. Formulac the Compuzoid. about to turn into the Tandy Computer Whiz Kids meet the Transformers. He loads up the game again. Hey Ethan, do you actually do any work around here? And he talks about a neat trick he can pull. I even figured out the secret password that the guy who wrote this program encoded into it. We gamesters call it a back door. Oh, I've been saying it wrong all these years. It's not gamers, it's gamesters. I learned that from a comic book. The back door allows him to put his character into any point in the game. That way you don't waste time starting over all the way from the beginning. After death kind of gives you a second chance at life. Ah, the true mark of a gamester, using cheat codes.
Yes, absolutely.
Margaret makes her departure, leaving Ethan to continue playing computer games on company time. All the while this has been going on, a helicopter bearing the Decepticon logo has been flying around the place. I'd say they were interested in the energy generation, but I prefer to think this Decepticon is just a really, really pissed off Xbox Live user. We got to the crashed Autobot ship, the Ark, where Wheeljack is removing a device from Optimus Prime's brain that, in previous issues of the comic, the Decepticons had been using to spy on the Autobots. Somehow they got the bug inside my brain and were listening to every thought I had. Oh yeah, I can just imagine how that could get awkward. Yes, Optimus Prime, I will now learn your secret plans to... Wait, why are you looking at magazines featuring cars without a chassis? What's Prime doing with his hands? Somehow, Wheeljack is able to reverse the signal and use the device to listen in on the Decepticons' plans, which doesn't make a lick of sense, but whatever gets the plot moving. And they listen in on Megatron's plan to attack the hydrothermocline plant. That night, Megatron and one of the Decepticon subgroups known as the Combaticons launched their attack. We anticipated interference from fleshling guards, Megatron. Where are they? God, is everybody playing computer games in this plant? No, actually, Optimus is there along with an Autobot subgroup, the Protectobots, and Prime explains where the guards went. In his less conspicuous mode as a police car, Streetwise convinced the plant guards their presence was required elsewhere. And knowing the work ethic of people around here, that probably wasn't too difficult a task. Both sides face off and prepare for battle. First up, the Protectobots join together to become Defensor. Because as I've said in my Power Rangers videos, the only thing cooler than a giant robot is when many giant robots join together to become an even bigger robot. Likewise, the Combaticons become Bruticus, who I just realized has an absolutely giant friggin' head because of those two, whatever the hell they are on the sides. Cannons, exhaust pipes, I don't know. Optimus and Megatron both realize that they're basically evenly matched and try to use verbal posturing to convince the other to retreat. For Optimus, he knows Megatron doesn't want to damage the hydrothermocline in a battle, and for Megatron, he knows that Optimus doesn't want innocents to be hurt in the battle. During this, Ethan has spotted the Transformers and makes a run for it. And apparently was so stupid that he ran directly into the path of Bruticus. And the dude must have been playing the first Super Mario Brothers all day, since he forgot that he can run in the other direction! Megatron tries to threaten Ethan's life, but Optimus refuses to stand down. Megatron decides that fighting and potentially damaging the plant is worth the risk if he can kill Optimus, but Ethan says he has an idea on how to resolve this without damaging the plant. And soon enough, they're inside the building.
Here we go.
And soon enough, they're inside the building, which was naturally built to accommodate giant robots walking around inside of it. So, what's Ethan's idea? This is Multi-World, a computer role-playing game. Normally, I play it by creating onto a floppy disk and putting him into the game, but instead, I could input all of you. That's right! We're going to resolve this situation by essentially playing player versus player on an MMO. I am now envisioning Optimus Prime yelling, "No camping!" while Megatron laughs and proclaims, "Go noob!" If you didn't hear that, just that empty bagging.
Yes, absolutely. It's an essential component of gameplay.
You broke me. Within the game, each of your characters will be identical to each of you. You'll each have complete control over your respective characters. So, was there like an add-on pack for this game that lets you build robots exactly like the Transformers? Even when the Transformers actually are devastating their world, companies still see their marketability. The game requires them to destroy the other side's leader, and if the Autobots win, the Decepticons leave. If the Decepticons win, they get the hydrothermocline. Megatron agrees, but only if they up the stakes, that whoever's leader is destroyed is also killed in the real world, too. Optimus agrees to avoid risking damaging anything. Mind you, if anyone in this had any sense while they were playing the game, they'd just shoot the other side while they were distracted. But I guess honor and loyalty and bottomless stupidity, but whatever. Unfortunately, we do not get to see the glorious image of the two sides playing with giant controllers. Yeah, I know, disappointing. No, instead they have somehow wired all of their brains into the game and will be controlling the game that way. Because that makes more sense than seeing them play with giant joysticks. Ethan has been given two buttons, one to destroy Prime and the other Megatron. Again, you could just push Megatron's button and end this instantly, but whatever. Time for a video game. Ethan showed them a game map. These are creatures in the game who are potential allies. There are creatures in the game who are potential allies and enemies. Who are they, Fleshling? Tell me! Megatron is demanding to know which of the NPCs in a game are his allies and which are his enemies. A video game. Wow. Once inside the game world, Optimus wants to lead the way, but the Protectobots point out that, well, if he's shot down, they're screwed, so they should be taking point. But remember, Hotspot, even though this world isn't real, we are still Autobots. We must remain true to our principles. So don't activate no clipping, okay? Just as on Earth, it is our duty to avoid harming this world and its inhabitants. Prime, they're not real. I sure hope that failure to recognize the difference between fantasy and reality doesn't end with something monumentally stupid. On the other side of things, Megatron orders the same kind of protection, but he's a dick about it because, well, he's Megatron. He stays behind while the Combaticons scout ahead. Two of the Protectobots come across a wall of lines, and one suggests blasting through them. However, the other objects. Why not? Maybe I have maybe a hunch I have, or maybe something I saw. He's right, you know, it's probably just a texture file with indestructible walls. Better to save the ammo until you reach the boss. Instead, they lift up the vines and go under them. But in the distraction, the Combaticons attack. However, the vines start wrapping around the Combaticons and fall down. Ah, great. A random monster encounter with tentacle hentai. With the vines trapping them, the Protectobots blow the hell out of the two villainous robots. Turns out the vines are actually sapient, and they thank the Autobots Well, obviously that one Protectabot had just read a walkthrough for the game beforehand. Another two Protectabots and Combaticons fight in the land of really silly-looking gumdrop people. Some of the gumdrop people fall off the sides of their land without safety railings, and the Protectabots go down to catch them. They're not real. Remember what Optimus Prime said? Yeah, that would be fine if this were the real world, but for crying out loud, these are programs lacking any kind of sentience or sapience. The only reason that the gumdrop people start helping out the two is because of the morality system in the game thinks you've been a good little boy. This is not frickin' Tron here. They're not real. Anyway, the gumdrop people use some kind of smoke screen on the Decepticons. This, in turn, allows them to kick the Combaticons' asses. Oh, right! This is the best video game I ever played! Hey, moron, you're not the one at the controls! Hey, you know what's even better than playing a video game? Watching people playing a video game! You know what's even better than that? Reading a comic book where we watch people play. Transformers fight, Autobots save innocent people save the Autobots. It happens the same way in the third encounter where they protect some potato people. Actually, I take that back. The potato people are useless, and they just win by catching the Combaticons by surprise. And so Megatron wanders out when the Combaticons don't return, and he runs into Optimus Prime. Defensor is also there, and Megatron discovers that all of his forces have been destroyed. In the real world, Megatron tries to strangle one of them. Question: do the Decepticons breathe? Why would choking one do anything to it? However, the Combaticons say that when he scouted the area, he discovered that by inputting the aforementioned cheat code, it might give him a second chance. Not sure how the hell he was able to find that out, or did the game designers actually write on a wall, type in after death, and you have infinite lives? Megatron attacks Defensor, but it fails. Your fusion cannon's blast cannot penetrate my force field, Megatron, but you had your shot. Now it's my turn! Oh, I get it. The game has turn-based combat. Defensor blasts the bridge under him to kill both himself and Megatron. Seems kind of unnecessary to do that, but hey, it seems to get the job done, at least until Megatron activates the cheat code. Megatron reappears behind Optimus Prime and shoots him. I do not die easily, Optimus Prime. Damn you, Megatron! You typed in IDDQD! Yeah, see, some of you recognize it. Optimus clings to the side of a tower, but then manages to pull out a support beam for it, causing the tower to fall over. Ignoring the pain in his mangled left arm. Wait, pain? They're playing a video game! This isn't the friggin' Matrix!
Checked in.
Anyway, as the tower topples over with Megatron, we also see a bunch more gumdrop people falling as well, and Optimus Prime somehow having pulled himself back up while they were falling. So Optimus wins, and the Protectabots tell Ethan to push the button and kill Megatron before he escapes. Optimus, however, tells him not to. I cannot accept this victory. In defeating Megatron, I caused the death of Metropipe's inhabitants. Something I could never do if this battle occurred in the real world. I violated the Autobots' most cherished principle. I knowingly harmed innocents because of our conflict with the Decepticons. No! You didn't knowingly destroy them! The things were inside of a completely opaque tower. It was accidental. And even if it was intentional, guess what? You're not in the real world! Ethan can easily reset the game and they're back to life again. The circumstances were different, the tactics are different, so it's not the same thing. Each of us always has a choice. I chose to cheat. That's not what cheating is, you stupid truck! Megatron cheated! You worked completely within the rules of the damn game! week's episode if you wanted to watch that. Yep.
Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, go! Okay.
Do this again.
And 3, 2, 1, go!
Beautiful.
Thank you.
I'm assuming, Nash, you have a copy of the script with you. Hey, we can read off the script right here like a live meeting. While we wait for the sound system to be set up, why don't we do Q&A? Chewing the ice. Or the hard water, as it were. I was actually going to go with her, but since you can't take it. That's okay, it's okay. We'll go one after the other. Go.
I was just asking about the signing after this. You don't sound pleased about it.
That's okay, it's okay. Keep going.
Which was the decision, and do I possibly have time to get the plushie I can make your likeness?
Which one was it again? National Harbor 8. And since plushie you paid a meter, you wanted to give me. Oh, you wanted to buy a plushie.
No, I wanted to get a picture with mine.
Oh, okay, yeah, we can do that. That's right there. We'll do pictures there as well, and all besides autographs, so. And then you have. There's not a lot to say at this point. There's the Apology Hack is still working on the script. For those who don't know, How I Spent My Doomsday is a movie project that Apology Hack is putting together with me, Giuliano, and himself. We don't know a lot of details ourselves, but it'll probably be non-canon from atop the fourth wall if I even play Linkara in it. We're still working out details, but that's pretty much all I can say at this point because that's all I know. Let's go in the back there, holding up, I think, what is that? The water bottle? I don't have very good eyesight.
This is like to be, you're such a card game that's video that you went out of those places during Mystery Day. Your players exchange insults a lot through the video. If you had the opportunity to confront one celebrity and call you face to face a chippy roustabout, who would it be?
Chippy roustabout. proper Christmas Carol style story instead of just the parody one I did about 2-3 years ago. I wanted to be dramatic. I wanted to kind of play with cliches a bit with it, with someone who already knew the story. I was just like, I don't care. Originally, 90s kid was going to be the Ghost of Christmas Past. But then Doug and I were both at Yomicon, so it presented a great opportunity for me to do that. We have sound? Well, we'll find out in a second, won't we? Where would we find out here? All right, come on, eaters, and number 3. Let's... It's been a long December, and there's reason to believe maybe this year will be better than the last. Can we turn on the house lights slow? That is done. So, what am I reviewing today? Come on, the Earth's End number 3. This year is gonna suck too. like he stepped out of a Sherlock Holmes film, and the other looking like Dr. Robotnik. irritation that their motorcycles are gone. Sequential storytelling at its finest. Look, Saphira Cohen's found the survivor. Look, I'm saying her full name for absolutely no reason. One-shot man with his dying breath asks them to find Vile John and to tell them that 1,000 death slingers from the Night Zone are coming. And then he hands Saphira a human finger. Give him this. Dude, that's not what's meant when someone says they're offering their hand in marriage. Well, let's see how many other jokes I can milk out of this. Man, he really gave her the finger. Boy, that's finger looking good. I don't think that's what she meant by finger food, man. Someone tells her to get rid of it, but Saphira says she's got a feeling they need to hang on to it. So our first plot point revolves around dismembered body parts. Oh man, I can just tell that this comic's gonna be a feel-good comedy. Dead Boxer's diary states that they can't find Kamandi and are proceeding to Washington, D.C. in hopes of continuing the search. While the battle plate passes over them, the three sit around and discuss their next move. Since there are abandoned cars everywhere, it won't be too hard for them to get new transportation, but there's a difference of opinion on what direction to go. Some wants to head north away from the battle plate, but Kamandi says he's going south. The road starts in Washington, D.C. Okay, I may have failed geography when I reviewed the first issue, but I'm pretty sure you can get to Arizona without first going to Washington, D.C. Don't try to tell me you need a road to Arizona, dude. You guys have been traveling on perfectly good road this entire friggin' time. Really? Washington, D.C.? They've got the biggest library in the world there.
Well, hooray for us.
Think of something more useless.
I got a fish. Good.
Dog, books are the best thing there is. Look, Saphira, I'm sure you really enjoyed reading Rainbow as a kid, but I think after the apocalypse you need to start prioritizing. Books are full of thinking. I think that by Stephen Meyer. Oh, Saphira, you only just met Kamandi. Thinking is number 16 on his priorities list, right after whining about his computer mommy and operating ridiculous weaponry. They go through some cars, most of which lack fuel due to it evaporating over the years. I'm sure there would be other maintenance problems, but whatever. But eventually they find a van that seems to work, loading up food from the crashed airplane onto it. While Zom drives and doesn't argue about them now heading to Washington, D.C., he says they should get some rest and take over for driving later. Oh yeah, I'm sure the blonde idiot who spends most of his days having virtual sex or cruising around underground pipes knows how to drive a stick. Good idea. I'm gonna read a book. What books? You weren't carrying any books. They weren't carrying any books. Did you raid the 747 for the safety pamphlets? Think about it. There's a TV and VCR back there. I'm gonna watch TV. Let's see what kind of reception we're getting on the TV. Oh man, it's my favorite show, Candle Cove. Oh, I get it. Saphira is the grown-up version of that girl from the Batman reading PSA who was obsessed with reading anything with words on it. Push that car! That commercial break. We'll be right back. That car's moving the wrong way, you bloody wankers! Not so smart with your brains outside your head! We're back now. But it seems the comic beat me to the past. Saphira gives some brief backstory about living in her dead father's house in the mountains, just reading books all the time, while Kamandi talks about how she's the first real woman she ever met. The world is sure a scary place, Kamandi. It sure is. It's terrifying just thinking about how you guys have been traveling for potentially weeks on end without showering, especially Kamandi and his greasy hair. We could die at any minute. Yeah, that's why we got guns. Kamandi's a real glass half full kind of guy. He's also watch out for the girl. Her motives are suspect. She's a very kinky girl, the kind you don't bring home to mother. Post-apocalyptic Magfest right now. Kamani says he doesn't know whether to trust the two. If you don't trust us, you're dead, pal. Because all you've got is a big machine that says it loves you. How can you trust a machine? Damn, it's them again! That's our Kamani! Don't actually try to rationalize anything. Just point and yell, hey, look over there! Then Boxer continues his log, stating that they think this may be their final destination. So they move in to capture Kamani and kill the other two. You know, this is a big problem with this book. I commented on the bizarreness of Ben Boxer's logs. This just points out especially how, from a narrative standpoint, the logs are stupid. Instead of building suspense as to the biomech's motives or plans, or even make them out as a credible threat just by being huge and imposing, instead we have to read every stupid little thought on Ben Boxer's Twitter, so any sense of mystery or suspense is taken away. And in the short time since Saphira entered, she's already gotten them to the 5th floor stupid 40-mile highway, so they wouldn't be bothered to draw actual background details. No, just a big mass of gray. I'd say I was disappointed by this thing from the start of the year, but honestly, that would imply I had any hopes for it to begin with. So I liked it. We have 8 minutes left, so I say let's do Q&A for the remaining minutes, and then we'll move on to doing the autograph signing in the room. Right. Can we also get the house lights up? Thank you. Supreme Commander Servalan. Remodeling. And actually, Comic-Con 1, just as a tiny bit of a spoiler here, for the upcoming storyline, for the finale of the current storyline, Comic-Con 1 will be playing a part, and actually, like the mini arc we did with Vice Pollo, we will have another storyline taking place mostly on board Comic-Con 1 and mowing him away. The side, you madam with the gray shirt.
Of all of the side characters besides Linkara you've created, which is your favorite to play and which are you most proud of?
One I'm most favorite to play is a 90s kid. It's so fun to act like this, although it hurts the throat to do so. Yeah. What I'm most proud of, yeah, Harvey, obviously. I mean, I was able to... Well, I don't think I've seen a single person who reacted negatively to the acting I did in the Christmas storyline, which I'm very proud of that for. If I was able to make people have the feels as you kids on the top of today, then obviously I'm doing something right. I ruined Christmas. Bayless killed Christmas.
Yes,
You sure? Yep.
The movie for The Dark Knight Returns, is animated that came out this year.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. Sorry. My brother has been bugging me to watch it. And I'm sure it's very good because Frank Miller was good back then. Then he went cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and it just all went downhill from there.
Batman.
What was that?
RoboCop voices Batman.
From the side, let's go with the back there. Barely see black hair. Yep, that's
What are your thoughts on Marvel now?
I have no thoughts on it. It's just launching a whole bunch of new number ones to try to compete with the DC New 52.
What about Spider-Man?
What about that?
Brain switch with Doc Ock.
Yeah, I already said that in the credits of the top 15 screw-ups. Spider-Man's been dead to me for years. This is just them catching up. And yes, there are icky implications of Doc Ock and Spidey's body if he has sex with Mary Jane, because that's rape. Having sex with someone under false pretenses is rape.
Yeah.
So keep it classy, Marvel. They got in trouble for this too on one of the Frank Day storylines. I think they would learn their lesson. You in the back, brown hair, holding it up. Yep.
Actually, I got been doing this perception recently, probably mostly from you, that we encounter essentially massive character mishandlings and storyline, essentially poorly written storylines so frequently in the big two of mainstream comics. So my question is, are either of the big two worth paying any attention to anymore at all?
That's always an iffy question, and it also depends on what day you ask me on, because some days it feels like there really is just no point anymore in trying to follow them. But you know, there are still good stuff being put out there. Demon Knights is about to switch writers, but even then, the Paul Cornell stuff with Demon Knights is freaking awesome. Batgirl by Gail Simone, they fired her and then immediately rehired her. And of course, the Scott Snyder Batman stuff is always good, though he's being kind of Death of the Family, or Death of the Family, can't remember which title it is. It's not as good as Court of Owls, in my opinion. morph suits.
Since you were going as a big audience, have you ever been to or ever thought of attending
I was at Power Morphicon a few years ago, the second one. The problem is that with a lot of conventions, Magfest is really the only exception I make to the you have to invite me rule, because there are just so many of you, and it's the greatest gathering place for that guy with the glasses producers, especially since we're not doing the anniversary movies anymore, so this is our only chance for crossovers if you want to actually be in the same room together. On that note, I was going to do a crossover with Brad Jones, but that kind of fell through since he's not coming now because of family emergency. But I'm still going to be. Otherwise, it's too expensive to go to conventions where I'm not paid for. Because, as you can probably imagine, I only make just enough on doing this to live off of. Which is nice. It's the best job in the world, but it's that extra little push that only makes me allowed to come here. And, of course, any side things that I can sell, like the Harvey Feinfuss album, which is still available. These three will hold up for us here. I only have so many of them, but when we go to do the autograph signings, I will be selling them for $5 each. Because I'm very inexperienced at making plushies. As a result, you will probably notice my shoddy craftsmanship, which is why I'm only charging $5 for that. I think we have time for one more question.
I'm kind of scared to ask this, considering how heart-crushing Harvey's backstory was. Have you ever heard of the 90s Kid backstory?
I'm still working on that. The good news is 90s Kid will not have a heart-crushing backstory. It's not complicated to do a heart-crushing backstory. I imagine that he's just like inspired by the 90s writers and artists of the time. And I mean, maybe there'll still be a big dramatic scene, but it'll be more like, things were a lot more fun back then. I mean, you can say all you want about how the writing was bad, the artwork was bad, but you know what? It still meant something! What? Oh, I have time for one more? Then let's go over to this side. Blue shirt. Give it.
It looks fun to me, but why didn't you mention the Jaws movie on one of the Marvel covers? The one that
you know what? I just completely forgot about it. I mean, it was just so antithetical compared to all the other movies that were on the cover of the Marvel issue with like Man of the Hands of Fate and what was the name? There was like some bizarre like half porno thing. Oh, the Smut. There was Smuts the movie. And yes, we'll be getting back to Marvel in a few months. There's still a few other comics I'm going to be going to, including a lot more revisits of previous stuff. We're going to go back to Sci-Fi. We're going to go back to Kamani, of course. We're going to do at least 2 more issues of Marvel this year. Then we'll probably start talking about the last 2 issues of Marvel, or rather the one last kind of issue of Marvel, and then what the 7th issue actually is, which is not a comic, even though it's labeled as Marvel number 7. It's